Okay, we're going to take a look at a sentence from Verlin Klinkenborg's The Rise and Decline of the English Major. It doesn't look like a very long sentence, and it's not, but we'll spend some time talking about it. It might be a little bit more complex than you think. So first, let's try to figure out if it's a sentence. Things we need are capital letters, a piece of punctuation at the end, a piece of appropriate punctuation, a subject, and a verb, and whether or not it expresses a complete thought. So we have a capital I in it, we have a period, and now we need to figure out whether it has a subject and verb. So let's check that out. So what's the verb here? If we were in a classroom setting, I would take suggestions from you, but we're not, so I guess I'll just have to tell you. The verb here is suggests. It answers the question, what action is being performed. So suggests is the verb, and it's actually an action verb. Now that we know what the verb is, we can try to find out what the subject is by asking who or what is suggesting, okay? And the answer to that question is it. It is our subject. So we have it and suggests. So really, if we wanted to take out everything else, a number of things, move the period behind suggests, we would have a sentence. It wouldn't be very interesting, but we would have a capital letter at the end, an appropriate piece of punctuation, and a capital letter at the beginning, an appropriate piece of punctuation at the end, a subject, it, and a verb suggests. It, if you're wondering, is a pronoun. Pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. If you remember the reading, the sentence before this one was, there is a certain literal mindedness in the recent shift away from the humanities. So the pronoun it, replaces literal mindedness, which is nice because it would be a pain in the butt to have to repeat that word over and over again. If we wanted to repeat it, we could say literal mindedness suggests a number of things. But, hey, there's my JavaScript message. We'll just move right past that. But we don't need to repeat it. That's why pronouns are very helpful. Okay, so we found a subject and a verb, which means we have a sentence, but there's plenty of other stuff to talk about here too, so let's dig into that. Okay, so you're probably familiar with subjects and verbs. In addition to subjects, sentences can also have objects, okay? So this verb has an object. To find the object, and in this case we have a direct object, maybe you've heard of that before, we ask ourselves who or what is being suggested. And here things get a little bit tricky, okay? It might seem like the answer to this question is things, okay? It is suggesting things, but that's not actually the case. The direct object of the verb suggests is number, and I will explain why it's not things in a little bit. So, subject suggests, or subject it, verb suggests, direct object number. Okay. Here's why things can't be the direct object of the verb suggests. It cannot be the object of the verb because it is the object of the prepositional phrase. So hopefully you've heard the word or the phrase, prepositional phrase before. If we take a look at the sentence, of things is a prepositional phrase. Of is a preposition. Things is the object of the preposition. So a word cannot serve as both the object of a prepositional phrase and of a verb. Okay? So really all we have left in the sentence is number. It suggests what? A number, and then the prepositional phrase of things is telling us about that number. Okay. What kinds of words can function as subjects and objects? Well, nouns and pronouns, basically. Okay? In this sentence, it is our subject. It's a pronoun. The direct object of our verb suggests is a noun, and the object of our preposition of, the object there is things, and that's also a noun. Okay, so subjects and objects can be nouns or pronouns. Bingo. So here's a question for you. Could we possibly rewrite this sentence so that things is our direct object? And the answer to that is yes. We would just have to do some tweaking. So, it suggests many things. Now we've gotten rid of any prepositional phrases, and if we take a look, it is still our subject, suggests is still our verb, and now what is it suggesting? Things. And then many is a word that's modifying things. So it suggests things. Now we have a direct object in things. It's the object of the verb suggests. Okay. So by removing the prepositional phrase, it sort of frees up that noun things to serve as the direct object. You can think of, when we have a prepositional phrase, you can think of the noun in that prepositional phrase as being stuck or tied up in that phrase, and it can't really function any other purpose or serve any other purpose elsewhere in the sentence while it's in that prepositional phrase. Okay, finally, if you think I've forgotten about the itty-bitty word a, I haven't. We're saving that for last. A is an article, okay? An article is a kind of modifier. It's kind of like an adjective. It modifies or describes another word. And in this case, a is describing number. What kind of number? A number. We call a an indefinite article because we don't really know what number. Think about, I'm going to the grocery store and I'm talking about an apple on the pile. Okay, that could refer to any apple on the pile. But if I'm pointing and say the apple, I want the apple, that means I'm talking about one specifically. So the difference between a definite and an indefinite article is specificity. So a or an is an indefinite article and the is a definite article. Okay, so that was our short little sentence. It is our pronoun and subject. Suggests is our verb. It's an action verb in the present tense. A is an indefinite article, which is modifying or describing the word number. Number itself is a noun, which is serving as the direct object of the verb suggests. Of is a preposition, and the object of that preposition is the noun things. Let me know if you think I've gone too fast through this. I know long grammar videos can be sort of brutal, so I wanted to try to get it done as quickly as possible. You can always pause the video and rewind if you need to. Thanks.